Hey beauties, it's Riri. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new, and welcome to day 3 of our Vlogmas series. We are doing 31 videos this month. If you have ideas or suggestions, please comment down below. But today, we are going to be testing out the brand new Rebel Rouge Labs Come Undone palette, the sweater weather palette. I did pay for this myself, and I do have a discount code with Rebel Rouge Labs. It is Riri10 for 10% off. I have already swatched this. I do have a shorts video up, but I thought that I would hop on today and let's create a couple of looks. I think I want to do one look, maybe using like the amber shades and stuff like that, and then maybe like a pinky look. We'll see what we come up with. I am quickly going to prep with my Alter Ego eyeshadow base. This was gifted, and then we'll do some swatches and we'll dive in. Loveful, Haig, hopefully I'm saying that right. I may not be, I do apologize. Shiver, and Stellar. Cedar, Cashmere, Ember, oh my gosh, and Angora. And I just want to say too, like while I'm in the midst of the swatches, I normally speed this part up. I love the fact that she went a little bit of a different route, and she did kind of more of a winter-esque leaning type of palette. Something just kind of warm and cozy and comfy and yummy versus solely holiday or solely Christmas or solely just winter where it was just like maybe icy and blue. I like the variation here. There's a little bit of neutrality here, a little bit of pinkiness, a little bit of green. I like this. I like the premise of this. I'm also going to note that the HYGGE shade is the only one, this is my second time obviously swatching it, that just feels a little dry. Whereas all of the other mattes do feel like her kind of traditional, very creamy type of formula. I'm going to note in saying that though, that most reds that I have, kind of true matte reds, do feel a little bit more dry. Solstice, Juniper, Unravel, and Plush. I'm also going to note that most of the metallics are very sheeny and very smooth. This one, Unravel, and the next shimmer that I'll do, Cardigan, have a little bit of texture to them. I love shades like this, the shade Solstice, because you can pair it by itself and it would be absolutely beautiful, but then putting it on top of other shades is also going to really make it pop. I think it is incredibly stunning. That is so beautiful. I'm so excited. Cardigan, Valoria, and Starseed. And I think you can kind of very visibly see that the shade Cardigan is just a little bit thicker, has a little bit of texture to it. But when you go to spread it out, you don't see that. It becomes very smooth. And there's a beautiful kind of orange peachy shift to this, and then kind of that hot fuchsia pink. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to see that. I feel like you can see it. And I think this would pair beautifully with any of the greens or the shade Loveful, which is that really soft, pinky, like shimmery shade. And the shade Starseed, it's super special. It's got like a redness to it, but there's like some green in there, a little bit of like a taupiness to it. I love this. I think she did a banger of a job. I think they're incredibly stunning. So hopefully those swatches were helpful to you guys. My plan, I think, is to go in with Angora, Plush, and Ember and create a look. Then I think that I want to go in with Unravel, Stellar, and Solstice and do, you guys know I love to do this, do just 3 shimmers and kind of just do an ombre effect where I start lighter and then go darker. I think that's going to be my game plan. So first up, I'm going to go into a fluffy open brush. This is just an e.l.f. fluffy eye brush. I will go into Angora first. A little bit of kick up, a little bit dusty, but does pick up well on the brush. And I'm going to sweep this very softly, and I'm also holding it at the very end of the brush. This is going to give me the least amount of color payoff. If I went in with a tighter, denser brush and held it closer to up here, I would lay down more product. Anyways, we know what we're doing. I've already explained what I'll be doing and I'll point to them too. But speaking of sweater weather, I want to have the conversation about, first and foremost, is it already cold where you are at? And where do you live? Don't put your city and all that kind of stuff, but where do you live and is it cold already? With that being said, it's kind of funny that through the duration of the time that my brother has been here from Ohio, which if you're from Ohio, you know it's cold as shit, honey, even sometimes into April and May. But it's so funny because he kind of comes in town during the wintertime and he's like, yeah, I'm coming to, you know, to the south to kind of escape from the cold weather. And the entire time he's been here until yesterday and today, it has been like 18 degrees, 22 degrees, things like that in the morning time. And then like in the 50s for the highs. Today, y'all, it's 75 degrees outside and muggy. And no, we don't want that here. Which I know that I complain about summertime and I want wintertime, but I also have to say that I understand that for me, it's not traditionally cold here. So obviously, if you live in, you know, New York or Wisconsin or Colorado or something like that, you're begging for summertime to come. I get you. I feel you. I understand you. I don't have that necessity. But it's so funny to me that it has been kind of a little bit unusually cold for us. We don't typically get super cold. Our colder months, honestly, are not until like February. So, yeah. Next up, Plush, same exact brush. I may decide to go in, and there's not as much kick up in this either. I may decide to go with a smaller brush. I kind of want this one just to be a little bit more blown out, and I just want to have a little bit of depth on the outer corner. I may honestly go in with the Haig as well, and just kind of see how that performs. And we'll maybe kind of add a little bit more depth out here. But anyways, is it cold where you're at? And then, speaking of sweaters, do you like sweaters? Do you like sweat shirts? Going in with a slightly more tapered brush. This is an SL Miss Glam T35. Sorry, y'all, I do not have my glasses on. That'd be kind of hard to wear my glasses and film makeup tutorials at the same time. Anyways, are you somebody that likes sweaters? Do you prefer, you know, puffer jackets, puffer vests? Does it get cold enough where you have to layer? Or are you somebody like me and you love cardigans and old grandpa sweaters? That's what I call them around here. I live for an old grandpa sweater or just a big oversized cardigan. I think they're super freaking comfortable. I love them. I love the feeling. I love what winter brings. And I know a lot of people don't. Again, it goes back to like, you know, we don't have horrible winters here. But just the cozy vibes. I love cozying up. I love blankets, a nice fleece blanket or something like that. A nice fuzzy little pair of, you know, slippers or slipper socks. And then a cardigan. I love cardigans so much. So I'm curious, which do you prefer? I'm going to also go into the HYGGE. Substantial kickback here. That does not bother me. I do like to note it for you guys. And I'm just trying to intensify my outer corner only. So I'm adding a kiss of the red right there. But, or, you know, are you somebody that you kind of solely wear like hoodies? And then to go along with that, do you kind of stick in, you know, or stay in jeans throughout the winter months or the colder months? Do you like sweatpants? Do you like sets? I know that like velour sets and like track sets are definitely kind of trending right now and coming a little bit more back in style. So I'm just curious about that. This performs just like I anticipated that it would. I'm going to go back in with this brush and I'm going to kind of mix Plush and Angora. And because I do have hooded lids when I open my eyes, a lot of my work disappears. So you will note that I'll kind of push that product a little bit further up, just so when my eye is, you know, kind of closed, you still see some of the work that we're doing. So we're not doing it all for nothing. I tend to kind of live in like leggings and like oversized loose t-shirts or leggings and tank tops. And then when we go somewhere, I am very hot-natured, like I get hot very quickly, and I know for me, I'm only going to be cold from literally like the door to the car and the car to the store or whatever. So I'm not somebody that bundles up. I get it, granted that somebody, you know, some people have to, some people are very cold-natured and get cold easily. I am not one of those people. So when we go out somewhere, I'll wear typically just a t-shirt unless it is cold here, and then I'll just throw on a cardigan. But I like to be super comfy. I love anything that's like cozy and toasty and yummy, and that brings me to the Next thing we're going to talk about, I'm going to go with a tiny bit of glitter glue from Give Me Glow. I've been using the heck out of this. I actually like this way better than the NYX one. Not that there's anything wrong with the NYX one. There's just something about the texture of this and kind of like the way that it dries down and stuff. I don't know. I just like it. I like the texture and stuff of it, the consistency of it. And I'm just going to press this in a little bit. Kind of less is more, even with the NYX, any kind of product like this. I'm going to go in with, I'm going to try to get my finger in here, but with these little nails on, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm just going to place Ember. And this is more of kind of a true, like, you know, shimmer, but there's definitely some richness to this. Ooh, pretty. But then we'll start talking about, speaking of cozy and cold weather and keeping yourself bundled up and or warm and stuff like that, what is your favorite hot beverage? I would like to know. I am somebody that really likes cocoa, but I like different flavors of cocoa. Like I have pumpkin hot chocolate right now. I really love white chocolate, hot chocolate. Like, oh my gosh, is that delicious? I am going to go in with a like shader brush or a smudger type brush. I'm going to spray it with some MAC Fix Plus. You can spray it with whatever you want to spray it with. You can also go in with a silicone applicator. You can go in with a sponge applicator. That picked up beautifully. And I want to be slightly more precise and place this and just kind of intensify it a little bit. That color is absolutely stunning. I love shades like this. So I'm a hot cocoa person personally. I also like, you know, like the gas station, like cappuccinos and all that kind of stuff. I really like those as well. So are you a coffee person, warm apple cider? What is your preference? And then I would like to talk about movies. If you are not a holiday person or you do not get into, you know, holiday movies and stuff like that, then just drop whatever your favorite movies are, just in general. This is stunning. I love it. Not like super crazy, you know, high shine or super fold, which that's fine. It's more of a kind of standard, if you will, metallic. I'm going to go back into this brush and I would like to go back into the red. I think because this is so much darker of a, you know, metallic or shimmer shade, I just want to build this up just a little bit. But I love anything related to Christmas and the holidays. The lights, the music, the movies, all of it. I love watching holiday movies. And I don't really have a preference either. Like, I love, you know, kind of very classic, traditional, old school movies. Like, I love, like, Miracle on 34th Street and, you know, Christmas Story, things like that. But I'm also a huge fan of just watching, you know, Lifetime movies or Hallmark movies. Yeah, so I'm curious, what are your favorite holiday movies? Do you get into holiday movies? I feel like the red is sticking just a little bit, and that's not uncommon for, you know, a red like this. But I don't feel like it is sticking in place too. I don't feel like that shade's my favorite, but the look is still really beautiful and I'm okay with it. Now I'm going to go into the greens, and if you know, you know, this is incredibly easy. I'm going to go in with a like inner corner type brush. I'm going to go into Solstice first, and if I have to use my fingers I will, but I'm going to pick some Solstice up first. Whoa, that is, wow, that's pretty. Like, it has a lot of like purple, and in the green, I'm seeing just green right now. Oh my goodness, I forgot to place on a base. I'm going to do the whole lid with the Give Me Glow. But I love to do this, especially if I kind of don't know what I want to do, or, you know, if I'm in a hurry or something like that. I literally take, you know, it could be all pinks, it could just be corresponding shades. Like if I had an icy purple or something, then, you know, I could do like an icy purple and do these shades. I'm going to try to go with my finger and see if I can get in here. But I like to place down a lighter inner corner shade first. And then I'll go with like the next deepest shade and then the next deepest shade. And like that is literally it. This is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. As pretty as this is by itself, I can only imagine how incredibly stunning it would be on top of other shades. Our next lightest would be Stellar, which kind of has a blue to green shift. So I'm going to also use just my finger, and I'm going to put that down the center and then kind of feather it and flick it with that first shade. Oh, that blue. Whoa. That shift, y'all, is stunning. Again, keeping it slightly lower. And then literally with my finger, I'm going to go in with the deepest shade, which I feel like I'm seeing a little bit of like blueness or something in here. That might be my eyes deceiving me, or maybe like a purple to it, but super beautiful. Tons of sparkle as well. And then I will press this, kind of feathering it in between the last shade and pressing it into my outer corner over here. And I typically, especially with these being a little bit more sparkly, I don't have a ton of fallout other than like this shade, which that was my fault. I went in with a lot to start with. But you can always do your base last and or put a little bit of powder under your eyes, use eye tapes, things like that. The only shade that I am, you know, not liking is this one right here. I just feel like there's like a line of demarcation. But then as I start to try to blend and kind of feather it and get rid of that line of demarcation, it just kind of disappears on me. So just noting that for you guys, that particular shade's just not my favorite, and there's nothing in the world wrong with that. I am going to go in with a brush and go in with Unravel, just so I can make sure that I really get it across the entire lid. And then I'm going to go back in with Stellar and do the exact same thing. Oh my gosh, the tones of green here. And then Solstice. Okay, yeah, Solstice, you're going to get a ton of kickback or fallout with the Solstice. Like, I have little sparkles everywhere and inside my eyeballs. So just be careful with that. You can even wet your brush and stuff, but I love that. I think that's super pretty. I am literally going to curl my lashes and throw on some Benefit Fan Fest. I'll come back and give you some of my final thoughts. All right, beauties, the look is complete, both looks. I finished up this eye. I decided to go in with the shade Loveful and put it on the inner corner and kind of flick it up a little bit. And oh my gosh, I love it so much more. I also went in just with a smaller brush with the red shade and just kind of built it up a little bit and left it. And that worked perfectly doing that. I also took the red mixed with the shade Cardigan to the lower lash line. Over here, I just finished it up with a mixture of Stellar and the matte Juniper. So overall, we got there. I actually really, really love how both eyes turned out. I think they look absolutely incredible. I love this. I love the overall color story. I really love that there's some neutrality in here so you could build up a neutral look. I would love to come back and do like Shiver, Angora, and Cedar and then just put Solstice all over. Oh, that would be so beautiful. But I love that it doesn't scream Christmas or holiday. And it's a beautiful combination, again, of that little bit of neutrality, a little bit of warmth, a little bit of cool tones. I feel like I have a little bit of everything in here. I also really love that there's some depth here. We have some lighter shades. We have some deeper shades. I love the blend of the mattes to the shimmer formula. Again, the shades Stellar, Unravel, and Cardigan have a little bit of texture to them, a little bit of kind of a flakiness or a texture to them. Loveful and Solstice both have like this beautiful kind of duo trio chrome to them, and they're more of like a sheer topper, which if you know, you know. I love shades like this because you can use them in so many different ways. You can put them on by themselves, layer them on top of different shades, and depending on what you layer them with, the outcome is going to be a little bit different. I feel like the shifts, especially in like the shade Stellar, like that blue flip is absolutely incredible. Very, very apparent. I love it overall. My only thing is just with the matte red, which again, that is not a Rebel Rouge Labs thing. That I found that with most reds that I've ever tried to use. My thing with that would be, or my tip with that would be to place that down first and then take your lighter shades and kind of go from there instead of placing down a lighter shade and then trying to build it up with this. Set it there and forget it, honey, okay? Yeah, overall, I really, really love it. I think it's beautiful. I don't know. I like it. I like the packaging. I like the theming. Of course, it has a nice mirror. It folds back. Aside from that red being a little bit finicky and having a little bit of fallout from the more kind of sparkly shades, I love it. I think both looks are beautiful. Which look is your favorite? Comment down below. Let's have that conversation. I love you, beauties. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. And of course, be your own best beautiful. Bye, beauties.